With all of the fun things that we've been talking about with loudspeakers, we've sort of been describing the biggest problem that existed in the pro audio industry for years and years and years, and that is, as good as we can get loudspeakers to sound, we've had difficulty with them when we put them in rooms that their rooms are not engineered. In other words, the way they create sound waves, these very defined sound waves that come from a cone style loudspeaker, bounce off of walls, interact with each other, create lack of clarity in sound out of an otherwise great sounding loudspeaker. Well, there's not often a lot that we can do with a room. So many times the rooms are handed to us. If we're a modern church meeting in a warehouse with it's probably a square or a rectangle, which makes things even worse. And we don't have a whole lot of option to re-engineer the room, either for budgetary reasons or structural reasons, what have you. Well, enter the DML, and so a lot of those problems go away, because instead of, as we've talked about for all this whole video series, because the waves are not defined from this cone-shaped driver, they're much more diffuse. They don't interact with the room like they do with a traditional loudspeaker. The word that Tectonics uses is they don't correlate. In other words, the reflected signal doesn't match up with the original signal and cause cancellation or amplification of different frequencies. And so that's a great thing, because we can actually be less concerned about location and about placement and about the expense that we have to go through in order to treat a room. We have lots of ways we can do that, but again, it costs money. And if you've been on a church budget process for building a new building or rebuilding a sanctuary, you will know that the room treatment features are one of the first things to get cut from a budget, because it's very hard for those that don't understand what they do to see the value in them. And again, in the aesthetics case, they can actually seem, if that wasn't part of the decor that was being considered by your aesthetics team, then it may not be seen as a valuable thing, and why would we want to spend $10, $20, $30, $40,000 on something like that, more than we're spending on speakers? Can't we just buy better speakers? Well, the answer to that now is yes, you can, with the Tectonics DML, which is really exciting, but you got to hear them. It's amazing what they do in different rooms. It's amazing how they can avoid interacting with the rooms, and it's probably sounding a little bit far-fetched right now. We'll talk about that more in a bit.